In the typical classroom, there will be students who are struggling to read the text that you give them, whether it's literary text or informative text, whatever the case may be. Their reading abilities are just not sufficient to fully comprehend and engage in the text, and that can be in any content area. So we've got a few options. One is we can say, well, tough luck, that's the text I've got for you, just do your best. And we set them up for failure. Option two is we say, well, we'll do something else for you kids. This activity isn't for you, or this isn't for you. And that's no good either. Option three is the best option, which is to say, look, if the kid's reading ability isn't sufficient for the text, let's modify the text so that the students can fully engage, understand, and participate. So we're going to do this in a series of prompts using AI. And the very first thing that we've got to do is we've got to get the text in there. Now, I'm using Animal Farm, which is literary text, and a few of these prompts are going to be specific to literature, but several of them will also work across all content areas. So the very first thing, review it, and then just as a check for understanding, create me a little synopsis. I will take that synopsis and share it with the kids. So let's see what we've got. I've already run these because ChatGPT is running a bit slowly today. So there's my prompt, and it gave me a nice synopsis, which I will share with the students. Here's what it's going to be about. Here's what we're going to be studying, and we're going to learn some things from it. Okay, so that's one. Now, let's actually start looking at some modification strategies. In the next prompt, prepare a Cliff's Notes version, complete with all the stuff that's typically in there. And if you've been to college any time in the last 50 years or so, you have probably seen Cliff's Notes. I need it. It's going to give me a synopsis, key events, people, quotes, themes, all of that kind of stuff. And what it helps the students to do is start building a mental framework and mental buckets in which they can store information, and to give them an understanding of facts, events, and people, so that when they encounter them in the text, they have a much better chance to see what the text is about and how they are applied within the text. So we haven't necessarily modified the text here. What we're doing is we're helping to create the mental framework that will lead to comprehension. All right, so give me that, Cliff's Notes. And here it is. So I've got my summary, I've got my characters, I've got my analysis of the chapter, I've got key themes, which we're going to explore later, symbols, key quotes, and even some study questions, which I might look at with the students. I might give them now, and then we'll talk about them after we read. Okay, so that is the next strategy. So let's move on. Okay, so eventually we want all kids to raise their reading achievement abilities, right? But if it's currently prohibiting them from engaging in the text, in the meantime, if we can't get the kids up immediately for the text, let's bring the text down to their reading ability. All the same information, all the same stuff, but more appropriate for the kids. So what we're going to ask the AI to do is simply rewrite it to be appropriate for, and then you would put in where the kids are. And you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different versions depending on what your students need. And just as an FYI, instead of grade levels, you could just put in an actual Lexile level. But here I used grade levels. So when I did that, rewrite it, and what it's going to give me is a new version of the same text for that grade level. In any content area, I can do this. So simplified, it's all still there, which means the students can still fully participate in all the learning opportunities around this text. Great stuff. All right, next prompt. Sometimes it's just the words. The reading is there, but the kids don't understand the words, and the words are prohibiting understanding the text. So let's do something with the words. We know very clearly that when we study challenging words before studying the text with those words, vocabulary goes up and reading comprehension goes up. It is a best strategy for helping kids to make sense of text. Study the words first. So we need a resource. I'm sorry to interrupt for just a moment. If this strategy helps you save time, teach more effectively, or lead your school, please subscribe to the channel for practical, no-fluff strategies for educators. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with a colleague. On the other hand, if you're a principal or a PD lead looking to prepare your staff for the challenges and opportunities of AI, contact us to schedule customized interactive training grounded in what educators really need. And one more thing, please make sure to click our newsletter link in the description and get your free AI Starter Guide, plus monthly strategies, resources, and information for using AI to improve student achievement. Now, back to the video. We need a little teaching resource on challenging vocabulary, and I need it to be in 3 columns. Column 1, find some tough words for students who have limited exposure to literature and the context, etc. Okay. Column 2, give me a kid-friendly definition. And frankly, the old approach of go get the dictionary or look it up online isn't a good one, because a lot of words have multiple meanings which may or may not be relevant to the text. So give me a good kid-friendly definition for the words as they're used in the text. And then in column 3, where is the word? So when we encounter it in the text, we'll say, oh, there it is. Give me the original sentence that the word comes from, and give me the same sentence again, but use the definition and not the original word. And then give me some additional rows for students to fill in their own words, which we can study after, and let the kids teach us some new words as well. So let's take a look at what we've got from that. Okay, so we have a nice table here. Ensconced means it's settled in a safe and comfortable place. And then you'll see we've got our original sentence over here with the word in it. And we have a version of the sentence with the definition. We say, oh, so that's how you use the word. That is a very strong strategy. And down, there should be some blanks. There's the blanks. And do you want to download it? Yes, we would do that. We let the kids work on it. Okay. Now, the final prompt that we're going to look at is more literature also. Take the whole thing, take the text, and break it into meaningful chunks, meaningful sections with a heading. And what it's doing is it's creating a series of receptacles in the brain into which students can put the facts and details as they read them. So I need a chapter and a series of short section summaries with headings. I want the major events for that section, and if it introduces a theme or a concept, tell me what that is. So let's see what we get. And this is a great way to help kids prepare for reading and begin to make sense of all of the content that's in the text we're giving them. So, sections. Jones at Manor Farm. We've got some key events and a little bit about the theme, an early theme. Major events. And now we've got a way that the students can make sense of this block of text that we give to them. We would give them this before they read so they can use it as a reference and a mental framework when they read. We might even discuss it as a class, but certainly they need to have access to this before they begin reading. And those are strategies for helping struggling readers make sense of the text we give them. I will throw in one last thing. AI is good at translating also. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. Take care.